There is no Christian genocide happening in Nigeria, and these claims exist to further U.S. interests in the region.
We, the Nigerians, we know our government very well. We don't believe anything they say. But to talk about intentional, targeted killings is actually been launched at the Christian population. So I see people who have no idea what they're talking about, trying to westernize media this entire thing. It is freaking irritating. So people are bringing out things that are beside the point. Oh, Muslims are killed too. Why should anybody be killed in the first place? It is currently the 11th of November 2025, and everywhere in the world a lot is happening. In South Africa, gender-based violence, people are protesting everywhere. In Tanzania, they elected a president who was supposed to be a better package for them, but somehow she became a female dictator. I don't know how that happened. In Nigeria, there's been a sudden news coverage of an event that's been happening for a very long time. Very long time. And people have their own opinions, and a lot has just been happening. Okay, so I just want to sit back and just chit chat about it for a little bit, give my own opinion here and there, and just that. So we're going to start with number one, which is Nigeria versus Donald Trump and everything that's been happening. So in case people don't know, but I'm very sure it's had a lot of coverage by now. Recent news began to talk about the killings that have been happening in the northern part of Nigeria, which has been going on for a very long time. And it started when a terrorist group called Boko Haram, an Islamic extremist group, began to wipe out people in the north. Now, people have come out to say this is propaganda, this is a slur or whatever against Muslims, and it's not really about Christians being killed and whatever. I said, all that aside, people are being killed in the north, right? But as a Nigerian living in Nigeria, I can tell you for sure that it is definitely targeted at Christians, because it is churches that are mainly targeted. It is, Christian gatherings. It is Christian people maybe evangelizing. Those are the people that are mainly targeted. And usually what happens to the Muslims that are caught in this crossfire is that, one, they are either not as extremists as the extremists want them to be, so they are taken out of the equation, or two, they're actually collateral damage. But to talk about intentional targeted killings is actually been launched at the Christian population. So I see people who have no idea what they're talking about, trying to westernize media this entire thing. It is freaking irritating, because people's lives are actually at stake. People are dying. People's lives have been displaced. People had to run from the north all the way to the south to start afresh, because they lost their lands, they lost their families, they lost their livelihoods. It's not a joke. So like people wear makeup, sit in front of the camera and start saying, oh my God, this is Donald Trump propaganda. Propaganda for who? This is real life for us. This is actual real life for us here in this country. So I saw so many videos like that. A girl sitting down talking about, and men sitting down talking about, my God, it's not really what's happening in the country. Knowing Nigerians in diaspora has come out to debunk that. Debunk what? This is real life. This is not a game. It's not a game. So people are bringing out things that are beside the point. Oh, Muslims are killed too. Why should anybody be killed in the first place? Why is nobody concerned that anybody is being killed in the first place? Why are you guys trying to shift the goalposts? Okay, let's just say it's not just Christians and they are Muslims being killed. Would that make everything okay? Would that make everything okay? Of course not. So what's even the argument? Instead of people to come forward to, oh, what's the solution? How can we counter this? Is there a petition we can sign? What can we do? You are here arguing about whether it's not really Christian, it's Muslim. So these killings have been happening for years, as long as I've been a child. Growing up now, close to my 30s, and it's been a consistent wiping out of villages and people and all of that. And, our government, I don't even know what to say about those people, but basically it's a whole game of save face, right? So the killings are reported, but they are mostly ignored until they get large scale attention. Then they begin to do, oh my God, we've caught 500 terrorists in the north. We've rescued 82 kidnapping. What all this their stuff? It's only because so many eyes are on them right now. That is why they are beginning to perform whatever they are performing. That is why people who depend on governmental news to get their source outside the country, you're already on the wrong path. That's not the place to get the right information about Nigeria. We, the Nigerians, we know our government very well. We don't believe anything they say. because it's been a long game of building distrust with the people. Say one thing, you do something completely else, or you do nothing at all. You say one thing to get what you want, to get into a political power, to get into a political position, and then when you get there, you do whatever you want. You come online, you put fake news, and then in reality, it's something completely different. We know them. That's why we're not even looking at their side at all. You get. So, will I say that the American people are coming here with the kindness and the goodness of their heart? I cannot 100% give you that, not even 20%. But do I like the pressure that it is putting on the government to act right for once before this thing that has been happening in the north begins to spread everywhere and become a whole mass disaster? Yes, I enjoy the pressure that it's been put on the government, right? So, what is there that could be done? I honestly don't know. This is a problem that is at this point, it looks like it's even bigger than the government, if I'm being very honest with you. It looks like it's something that they could no longer handle. So I don't know what the solution is. That aside, things have been popping up on social media that I don't really understand, right? So something happened where a pastor, a known pastor in the nation of Nigeria, came out to say something about women's periods and how it's not a reason to be rude.
Do you know you can know a peaceful woman before you marry her? People believe some demonic stuff. Can I talk to you a bit? Some demonic stuff like women's head used to touch. Like a woman may not even know what's wrong with her. Just want to cause trouble. Have you seen things like that? It's demonic. It's not true. That's not your nature. You are not your temperament. Temperaments are real, but you are spirit controlled. Now, when I'm having my menstrual flow, I just get angry. I get provoked. I can talk anyhow. You should know that the way I woke up this morning, that something is happening. So I'm not shut up. Deborah had menstrual flow in the Bible. It didn't begin with you. Esther had menstrual flow. And you are quiet. It looks like, Pastor, you are not understanding what we women go through. I said Esther had menstrual flow in the Bible, and she was married to a king. She honored him. Talk to me now. She honored him. I never saw anywhere in the Bible any woman complain that I'm hungry because I'm having menstrual. You are simply not a peaceful person.
It's not a reason for you to, have bad behavior, bad character, and all of that. And that is what I saw. And then the responses from some women in Nigeria, I did not really understand. So he came to talk about how something such as pain should not cause you to be rude to people around you. Like, it's not an excuse for like bad behavior. And people came and said he should stay out of women's affairs. He should not talk about women's body. He's not empathetic. He's just a man saying rubbish. Some girls even came and cussed him out, and in my own cheeky way, I was going to come out and ask those girls who were cussing the pastor out if they were on their periods. Maybe that's why they are feeling the need to cuss out somebody who gave his point without insulting you. You can make your points clear without cussing them back. Like, sometimes this feminism movement in Nigeria, when people talk down on it and everybody's all like, oh my God, you hate women, sometimes they don't beat the allegations, because at this point, what is feminism? Is feminism supporting women's rights and wrongs? Or is feminism a platform for women to be given equal opportunities at every level, whether it's voting, whether it's running for a political office, whether it's going to school, whether it's what, like, at this point, what is feminism? Because the way Nigerian landscape is going to define it, like, if you don't support certain things, you are not a feminist. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's something that I still think about when I see stuff like this happen. I'm like, what is happening here? Like, what's really the problem here? You get. So I saw that entire situation and I was just like, okay, so he said, do not be rude if you're in pain. I'm somebody who worked in a hospital. I've taken care of sick people. And for a woman who has very painful periods, and you have to be rushed to the hospital to be given medical attention, you are classified as somebody that has a condition, someone that is sick, or we call them dysmenorrhea patient, like your period is affecting your way of life, right? So you're actually classified under a condition. And I have managed people with conditions in the hospitals, and their sickness does not determine the way they behave to the staff. I've treated sick people who are kind and respectful, and I've treated sick people who are rude. It all just depends on your personality, regardless of whatever condition you're battling. Yes, pain can cause us to have discomfort and all of that. It does not take more than 2 minutes for you to explain, this is what I'm going through. I'm going to need my space because right now I'm in a lot of pain. Very simple. It turned into a whole Me Too movement, female versus male, and I was like, you all lost the plot with me here because I don't know what's going on here. I genuinely believe in this world that to actually be a good feminist, or rather to come out as a feminist as defined in the dictionary, it is shaped by what kind of father you had. If your father was a terrible person, or the male people in your life disappointed you consistently, you're going to end up being somebody who calls herself a feminist, but you're actually a misandrist, which is people who hate men, who don't like anything male and whatever. But if you actually, an example I actually use is Chimamanda Adichie. She had wonderful parents, when she talks about her father and her mom, talks about how supportive they were and all of that. And when she talks about feminism, you can see it is really about giving women and young girls and the female gender a better footing in society, especially in places where they don't have that opportunities, like in the north where the female voice is severely repressed, places like Afghanistan, all of that. So it's fighting for the girl child to have a voice, a right, just as much as the boy child. That is healthy feminism. Whatever else these people have going on, where they want to exterminate every XY gene from the surface of the earth, that is a demonic movement, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's usually girls who did not have responsible fathers, who had terrible fathers, who had, like, I genuinely believe to be a healthy feminist, you need to come from a home where your father was not a raging misogynist. Also, I believe that misogynism is what produces anti-feminism or misandry, whatever it is. So that's genuinely what I believe, because what some of you are doing on the internet ain't got nothing to do with feminism. It has nothing to do with giving women an equal opportunity in society. It has nothing to do with anything. You just want a place to vent out your bitterness and your anger, and I pray that you heal. The last thing I want to talk about today is the whole Regina Daniels situation. Not necessarily about her, because I don't know anything about her, I don't know anything about her personal life except what she says on the internet, and why the entire situation is very messy. It's just like a lot. So in case you don't know who Regina Daniels is, she's a popular actress, got married in her earlier years to a considerably older man, right? And I remember the time that she got married, she lived a lifestyle. And if you know Nigerians are very attracted to the ostentatious lifestyle. It doesn't matter what decision you make, as long as they can see the wealth being flaunted, they're going to support you, which is a very, 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 I don't even know what to call it. So basically, when she married him, there was a lot of kickback from her father and whatever. And, people supported her mom, supported her decision, and said, you know what, it's better to cry in a Lamborghini than in a keke. I don't know. So the society was always like, I could have sworn, because this is why you should never follow social media or meet them for approval or do things for them, because at the end of the day, you are just the one that's going to carry your cross. I could have sworn that when she got married, there's so many comments like, it's only Regina Daniels that can advise me. We would rather cry in a Lamborghini, our queen, our this, our that. Now that everything is falling to the ground, people are coming out to say, you should have known better. Where's your mother? Oh my God, it's good for you, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like, this is the same person you were hailing. You guys were hailing and saying, oh my God, she's the standard and whatever. And now that everything has been, unveiled, all of a sudden it's let's fight for Regina, or people who are laughing at her and mocking her. And in my opinion, why? Why actually? I feel like the average Nigeria, because we grew up under a corrupt system, there is a level of greed in all of us that if we are not careful to remove from our lives, we will end up making the same decisions that that girl made. A lot of people that are in very questionable relationship, doing a lot of questionable things for money right now, and they are coming out to come and judge somebody who is actually a public figure, but she's actually a representative of how the system works, how greed causes us to make a lot of wrong decisions. If you're going to ask me who is at fault here, I'm going to say her parents. I'm going to say her parents, like her mom. There's no way I'm going to bring an ancestor home to my mother and say, Mommy, I love him, I want to marry him. She's going to lock me up. She's going to put me in jail. That girl, you must have lost your goddamn mind. You must have lost your goddamn mind, because what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, you want to marry who? What? To where? That's my mother. That's what my mother would have done. There's no amount of convincing. There's no amount of whatever that you want to do. She's finna lock you up like a hardened criminal. So that's where everything fell. If the mom had done what was best for the daughter, I don't think we would even be here making this video or doing any of this, all this brouhaha. I genuinely pray for her. I pray that she gets the help that she needs. You know, I pray that she has people around her who actually love her and want the best for her. Because right now, all I see is a family who used the girl as their stepping stone out of poverty. And it's, while it's sad, it's a recurrent reality that happens in Nigeria every day. Every day people make the decision that because they are only trying to get out of their state right now, they don't think of the long-term effects. So this is a lesson to everybody. Whenever you're making decisions, I need you to think 10 years, 20 years from now, is this a decision that I will still be proud of? I think that's a lesson that we all need to learn. Today was a bit heavy, you know, a lot of heavy topics to talk about. I pray for my nation, Nigeria. I pray that somehow we come out of this. And that somehow is God, because I'm not somebody who is the white savior stereotype type of person. I know our help is not necessarily going to come from foreigners, because truly it takes Nigerians to save Nigeria, you know. So I just pray we all do better, because minus the government, even on a lower level, there's just a lot of corruption. Even in all sectors, look at Ministry of Health right now, doctors are on strike, nothing has been done. So it shows you that it is not just a governmental problem. There is a problem that is trickling down to even the local levels that affected our minds. So, you know, we can't remove God from the equation. He has to help us. There's just no other way. And then on the other hand, why God, you know, helps us, we do our best to be responsible people and change this land for the better. That's all I have to say. That's the gist I have for today. You know, I just hope. Bye.